Right. Hello and welcome to the Selene River Press Practitioner videos, a series of short conversations with some of our most prominent writers and practitioners. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Doctors David and Lauren Kolowski from the booklet, The Night Before Wellness. So hello, thank you both so much for being here today. How are we doing?
Danielle. Great, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. I'm excited to talk to you. So today I really just want to get to know you both and your product a little bit better. So let's go ahead and jump right into some questions. My first question is, I'd like to, like I said, get to know you a bit better. So can we talk a little bit about yourself, your practice, and your skill set?
Sure. So we both graduated from the Palmer College of Chiropractic in 2010. What brought us there was just a interesting string of sequences that led us both to there. Initially, it was Lauren who was encouraged by her chiropractor back home in Nebraska to think about chiropractic as a profession.
Dr. Michael Doherty.
Yes.
Really? No way.
We have to say his name.
Wow, I'm so happy you said that. That is a really fun piece of information to know. We love Dr. Doherty.
Another one of your authors and content creators.
Yes.
So amazing guy and amazing practice. And so he put the bug in her ear about thinking about chiropractic school. And so eventually she had to come to that decision post undergrad to figure out what's going to be the next step. And that was it. And so we were dating at the time, and I was kind of looking over her shoulder, looking at this whole chiropractic world, and it just looked very intriguing to be able to do something so meaningful and effective and cost effective for helping people in their health. And that's always been a kind of a underlying passion of mine to for sports and athleticism and health and just wellness in general. And so it just looked like it all came together with chiropractic as a profession. So we both dove into it and ended up graduating together and started here in Loveland back in April of 2010. And just slowly have grown very organically and just through a lot of word of mouth and a lot of trial and error through advertising. So yeah, here we are today, and we have it's a strong nutrition and chiropractic practice. We have 2 other practitioners and 4 or 5 other team members.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's a pretty solid operation.
Yeah, we like it. Seeing some great results, and patients are not only do they get great results, but they are advocates for us, and so it's been just a great last decade.
That's incredible. So how wonderful. Dr. Doherty inspired Lauren, and Lauren inspired you.
Yep.
Look at the trickle effect. And now you have a practice with, well, you said 2 other practitioners and 5 team members. That's incredible. Wow, what an amazing legacy. Had no idea. I love that. All right, let's jump in a little bit into your product. I want to talk a little bit about your booklet, The Night Before Wellness. Give us a little bit of insight on what inspired you to create this.
Well, initially it was just a little Christmas poem that I put together. I had The Night Before Christmas running through my head, and it was on a Christmas morning that I finally just sat down and started writing some of the lines out, and it just turned into this poem. And it was in the matter of like, I don't know, an hour or 2, it was out.
Wow.
And so
I came down the stairs and he's at the kitchen table, and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm half asleep, and poof, it was done.
Yeah. And so initially I just shared it online with some social media friends, and it was immediately very popular. And so I sat on it for a year or 2, and then I approached Stephanie at Selene River Press about does she think there's any potential with this to make it into a Christmas booklet? And she said, well, why not just kind of retool it a little bit to make it more of a all year long kind of feel, take the Christmas aspect out of it, and add in some nutritional advice as well. And so one thing led to another. We found a great artist, and we just ended up putting it all together, and here it is.
What an amazing story. I love that you talked about the artwork. I feel like the artwork is one of my favorite parts of it. It's
great.
It's such a fun book with hippos and, the table full of food that the kids get a color. I mean, it just turned into an amazing
She did an amazing job, Miranda. Yeah.
Yeah, Miranda is amazing. She just ran with it and took, very little cues and directions from us. Just, she had a great intuitive eye for those kind of things. So yeah, it turned out to be a really, fun product for us. We use it all the time in our office. Every new patient gets a copy, and all the kids love it. And sorry?
I said, I love that. I love that you hand it out to every new patient. What a great idea.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, that's a really nice segue into my next question, which is talking about the booklet. What would you say is your best audience for it? And kind of going off that, how can other practitioners incorporate this into their practice?
Right.
Mom.
Yep. And the kids, yeah.
Mom and her kids,
Yep. Kids love it. They, they're just drawn to those kind of, cartoony kind of books. But for the parents to also read it, it's packed full of all kinds of core philosophical ideas for chiropractic and for health in general. And it's, I skimmed the surface, with a lot of these ideas. So definitely, I definitely encourage the doctors who are using this to, go on a little deeper dive with their patients, either on a one-on-one basis, or they could take this and read it to their clientele on their own social media, or take little chunks and little snippets and just expand on those ideas. And that's what I like to do when I'm working with my patients and the kids as well, is just plant that little seed of hey, did you know your body is designed to do this, or designed to work this way? Here's how this all runs, and here's what I can do to help make sure that's working better and keep you working at your best. So it leads to a lot of other discussions and conversations if you use it correctly.
That's a good point. Planting that seed to help lead to other conversations. That's great. So one thing that I love that you talked about, I already mentioned that, is that you hand it out to your patients. That's also a really great way for other practitioners to do that too. These are great little handouts. I loved that idea.
We have a new patient packet, and it has many things in it, and that is the most prominent thing that is in that packet.
Yep.
And other seeds of information, brochures from Standard Process, our in-house brochure, chiropractic information, and why wouldn't they want to open the pamphlet and start with a little bit of fun, and then they can, like he was talking about, plant the seed and go into further investigation from there.
Yep.
Yeah. That's such a great idea. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we also like to take it when we do any public events and speaking engagements and those kinds of things. And so usually we have a speaker's table or something like that where we can have our business cards, but we always have a stack of those books as well. And if another office is using them, they can put their label on the back. There's a spot for that. Yeah. And be able to pass out something that has some value to people. And it doesn't cost a lot to have that in your hands. But something that people won't just instinctively kind of toss in the trash once they get home. So people will hold on to a book more than they'll hold on to a business card.
You had mentioned I love all of that, and you had mentioned something earlier that was really great. You said that it's also you were talking about for mothers. Why do let's talk about that a little bit more. Obviously this is geared towards children, but you also, I want to dive into that a little bit, why that would be good for mothers and parents as well.
Right.
Well, mom is the head of the household for health.
Wow, that is well said. I love that.
Most of the time, mom makes the health decisions and does the health research and all those things. So in our clinic, we feel like if we can get to mom, we can get to the people we really want to get to, the kids.
Wow, that is really,
you don't get to the kids without mama trusting you, right? So anyway, it's a segue, it's a gateway into educating moms so she can educate her kids and get the reality that if we can get a hold of the kids before they grow into health concerns, then that's a win-win.
Absolutely. Well, and I feel like as moms, it's not just the nutrition, it's also that pressure to teach that nutrition to bored little children running around. Right. I know I definitely struggle with that. So that is, I love it. I mean, what a great idea. These fun pictures and the hippos and look at what the body looks like. That's, all of that is just really a win-win when it comes to kids. I want to talk a little bit more. We're talking about, moms and learning nutrition. Let's talk about childhood nutrition a bit more. What are some of the most common complaints or worries and concerns that you're getting from parents about their children and nutrition and wellness?
Wow, that's a big question. Where to start? So
Heart
yeah,
concerns in little boys,
Okay.
which look like earaches.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Cardio plus.
a lot of those things are discovered through the nutrition response testing that we do in our office. It's not something that kind of intuitively comes across in the literature.
But that is one of the most #1 recommended tested necessary nutrients for children is Cardio Plus.
Wow.
Digestive concerns, sleep, behavior. Behavior is sadly the top thing that we have as a complaint from mom and dad, which are many factors that involve that. And of course, inflammatory foods and toxins and protocols on our kids in mainstream life. And so, we obviously, chiropractic care is so essential for these stressed out little kids, honestly. And calming nutrition, growth and development nutrition, heart support, thyroid support, general nutrition for this time of year, calcium, vitamin D, similar to adults, but what else do you see for chiropractic?
I think, every parent and every mom wants the best for their kids. They want to do the best that they can. And so they're always, trying to gain new knowledge or just to stay one step ahead of the curve when it comes to that. But, we live incredibly busy, crazy lives for the vast majority of us. And it's really hard to not only keep up with that information, but also to, keep up with the household in general. So what do? We default to the quick, easy snack foods and the junk foods and the quick drive-through things that are out there. And, those one dose isn't going to hurt you too bad, but, a lifetime of that, or even a month or a year of that, you'll start to see those effects, just like Dr. LeBaron was talking about with behavior and energy and sleep and, immune system function and all those kinds of things. So it's, I think for most parents, it's, we don't want to just reflexively go from crisis to crisis,
right?
And so we want some rational, solid answers
and simple.
Simple, it has to be.
Yes.
Easy. We think again. When we're working on kiddo, we think of compliance of what mom and dad, what what are they able to get done in their crazy busy lifestyle. So step 1, let's get them in for adjustments several times a month. And step 2, these are the things we're going to eliminate from your diet or limit. Step 3 is these are the things we could eat more of. And step 4 is here are your few supplements that will take it that much further.
Yeah. I
don't know. Is that step 1, 2, 3, 4?
And kind of going back to the underlying framework of the book, The Night Before Wellness, I want to help it be simple for people to understand. Like, just if you do these few simple things on a regular basis, you eat well, you move well, you get adjusted, you sleep well, all the function, the foundational lifestyle things that everybody needs to do, but most people do poorly. But if we do those things, especially starting young, we can avoid the vast majority of health issues and just have that much better of a life right now.
Yeah, well said. I really liked how you broke that up to simple and breaking it into steps. That's just as I know me as a mom, those are ding words that are making me listen and feel much better about it. That is a really good way to reach parents and kids. I think we've talked about this a little bit, but just to kind of bring it back, if you had one piece of advice that you would give to a parent to help them with, child wellness, what would that one piece of advice be?
What do you think? So many things again.
I know it's hard. Sometimes it's hard.
Nutrition and sleep.
Yeah.
I feel like our kids, half of their problems are because they're not rested.
Yeah.
They start school way too early in the day. Their biological clock doesn't match up with that school schedule. But I think also, if there's one core thing, is just to stay curious. don't go full in on an idea or a concept, and then just stop thinking critically or rationally about it. Like, analyze it every day. You'll see, are you seeing the results that you're looking for? Are you on the right track? And if not, then we need to make some changes, but they need to fit along that path of what is natural is best. And so we got to look at our food, we got to look at our environment, we got to look at our daily activities, we got to look at how we move, and we got to look at core neurological function, which I know is a kind of a big concept, but that's chiropractic for you. Just be open to the idea that there's something newer or better that can help get you where you want to go. But oftentimes those new things take you back to something that is core, foundational, traditional kind of ideas.
Really, I mean, I'd like to expand on that is exactly, newer might actually mean older. There are times when it's like, you'll see research says this is really good for you, and we're going, yeah, Dr. Royal Lee said that long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, we got away from that, and so now research is saying go back to that. So that is where, if we're looking at supplements, nutrition, sleep, food, movement, chiropractic, we are looking back to the old nutritional guidelines and nutritional recommendations and experts, and foundationally following what they saw to be true through what they were learning with the processing of our food supply and the changing of just life and as we know it in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with a lot of the articles that I've written since the Night Before Wellness for Selene Press, that's one of the main ideas I try to come at with is to not just get so buried deep in the newest literature, the newest science, but it's to try to tie in these new ideas with the old, foundational core principles of health and wellness that we've been, exploring for thousands of years.
I love that. That's a really good point. I feel like a lot of times we get stuck in, well, look at how far everything is advanced. Let's just see what's new. It's new. It's so important to remember that we've lost a lot of the value of what was old and to bring that back into our new. What a great point that you brought. This has been fabulous. I've learned so much about you that I didn't know. I feel as a mother, even just after this interview, I even feel more empowered with my children. I love so much how much you focused on moms. That was a good one for me, and just parents in general. So thank you for talking to us. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share?
Just stay curious, stay thirsty for new ideas, new information. If you're here watching this, tap into Selene River Press and their whole database and archives and libraries. They just have a wealth of information, and we're always getting new information and great information from what we find through Selene River Press and through Standard Process and through Mark Anderson and Stephanie. And so it's just there are answers out there, and you'll find them if you keep digging.
Do some of your holiday and birthday shopping with Selene River Press and get the cookbooks and get honestly, in our opinion, if your library isn't full of basically everything Selene River Press has ever put out, it's not complete yet.
You're missing out.
I mean, you are quite literally missing out. We have 2 copies of everything, one at our office and one at home. And do we read cover to cover every day? No, but we pull references all the time. And just be a lifelong learner. I mean, why wouldn't health be a top topic for lifelong learning? I mean, we change throughout our life and our health journey. And so having resources for health at your disposal in your household, on your library, that is key.
Right. When parents ask us a question in the office about their kids or themselves, we could give them the best 20-second answer we could possibly pull out of our brains, or we can give them a book, and that will explain it much better than we could in that time frame that we have. So wonderful. Go explore that database, and you'll find a lot of great stuff there.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is all wonderful. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to be with us. I know our listeners will love it.
Thank you. You too, Danielle.
Thank you so much.
Yep.